So back from the gym, really solid session in abs. So didn't have myself mic'd up because look, I wanted to talk to the rest of the crew, the people that I was training with, and as well, I suppose abs is different to other gyms that you might go to or train in because there are like different standards or different kind of like rules that Jay the owner, Jay the head coach has set for all the members. So one of them is to not be on your phone and to kind of not be prancing around with your camera, right? Record your top sets, but other than that, help your other lifters, help the people you're training with, engage in the group scenario, right? Because there's a lot of power to training in a community like that and training around people and taking your head out of your phone and actually being involved. So that's one thing that I loved about when I used to train there, because it's different to again going to other gyms. It's very easy when you're in another gym just to between your sets whip out the phone and all of a sudden you're distracted from the work you're doing. But also like the gym for a lot of people, and definitely as I've gotten older, I've wanted it to become more like a social thing. So it can be quite and training can be quite a lonely endeavor, especially powerlifting, right? Competitive powerlifting can be quite lonely if you're just going about it alone. And it's so much more enjoyable when people are involved. So again, if you're in a kind of gym and you're seeing all these people around you who are engaged in the same sport as you and you never talk to them, like you probably have a lot in common with them. You probably will get along with them, and that could be an avenue for you to as well kind of gain a training partner, and a training partner who will push you, support you, and you can do the exact same with them. You can help each other to get better, and that's like one of the kind of core components, one of the like core kind of values down in abs is everybody else helps everybody else get stronger, and that's like one of why they are one of the or why they are the most successful powerlifting gym in Ireland. I'd say a huge part of it is because of that like core community and these standards that Jay has set. Like some people think they're kind of like unorthodox or they're a little bit kind of like ridiculous or like too strict, but like ultimately, I do think when you are able to do these kind of small things well, and you do these small things and you enforce them, it does kind of make everybody else better. Because even just that simple thing, like no phones in the training area, don't be like kind of prancing around cameras, those might seem like small annoying things to some people. However, if you as a result now are able to train with your training partners, develop a better bond with them, everybody else helping each other kind of get strong, it has like these kind of downstream effects, right? Even rules on squat depth. So if you're squatting high in training, you have to spin the wheel of misfortune. Now that seems like ludicrous to some people that you'd have to like spin a wheel and get like a punishment if you are not abiding by this like rule, right? But ultimately, it's one of the standards in powerlifting. We all have to squat to depth, and we should all be aiming for that. And because now there's some kind of like punishment attached to it in your training session, as opposed to just not being red lighted in competition, you are more aware of it, and you're going to train to competition standard, and you're never going to have that issue on competition day because you always train that way. So there's plenty of different kind of things that the rule that the gym does slightly differently to other places. And again, it's like for me anyway, I love when I train there. So I'm going to be going down a few more times over the course of the next week or two before competition. So today worked up to 275 in the squat. So we'll have seen that. Felt a little bit tricky coming out of the bottom position. I definitely felt like I don't know what happened. I obviously just was not very strong in the position that I was when I kind of started to stall out a hole. But nonetheless, I'm quite happy that I was able to move it because 2 weeks prior when I took 272 and it had kind of issues with spotting, I wanted to kind of make sure I kind of got that weight on my back during prep, and I definitely do think there is more there. The 260 back off was definitely challenging. That's again the heaviest triple I've ever done. So about two huge PBs, one massive milestone PB. It's funny because again, like when you're training in an environment like that and everybody's so strong, and as well because I am so used to now training around such like strong individuals that I don't really kind of get as like nervous walking up to that kind of big milestone weight, but also when I hit it, I don't necessarily feel like the same level of like exhilaration as I used to when I used to hit like a PB, which is kind of weird. It's kind of sad in a sense because now when I hit a PB, I'm just like, could be heavier, and it's kind of a shitty way to be in a way. Like I should really be like, oh my god, I squat 275. Like when I started powerlifting, I never thought I'd ever have a weight like that on my back. Like sure, even squatting 250 when I started powerlifting would have been. I thought that would have been my ceiling. And obviously, the ceiling is higher, right? So the ceiling is higher. Maybe in a few years I can get to 300. Like that's crazy to think about. But I think for now, I just need to kind of be, like Shane. Like we have to respect the kind of work that you put in up to this point and be happy with like how today went. Again, repping a weight I've that only recently was like a PB during this prep, and again setting a kind of a single with solid depth PB. But I suppose that's the athlete I suppose of me. I always want a little bit more, and when will I be satisfied? I don't know. I think because over the years I've become so much more process oriented. Like if I didn't hit that today, or if I never hit it, I still go train. I love training. Like it's just the process of it. Like even if the weights for some reason had to stay the same forever, I still go into the gym and train, right? Because there is other benefits to it, and I think that's it's a good place to be because ultimately, if I've good comps, bad days, amazing days, my kind of level of how to say arousal or dissatisfaction, satisfaction, it stays in the middle rather than having these huge kind of peaks and huge kind of dips, which ultimately, if you have these kind of huge peaks and huge dips, you could just end up just thinking about training all the time. Is it going to go well? Is it not going to go well? And getting overly anxious, overly neurotic, which is something I definitely don't want to become with lifting because it's something I enjoy. So anyway, that's that. Bench is being bench. Have to figure out what I'm gonna do with bench, honestly, because like I would have thought that get myself to up to 100 kilos, doing as much bench work as I have, that I'd be getting some kind of trade off. Now, one thing that I definitely just have to remind myself of, and it's something I was talking about in one of our latest podcasts on the strength syndicate, is how many times have I benched 160? Right, so 160 is my comp max in my last two competitions, and now I've hit it the last 3 weeks in a row. Last week I hit 162. Today just left it at 160, just because my shoulders were feeling a little bit tired. Like the weight was definitely feeling as heavy as I should be for today. And I did want to go up to 165 today, but again, it wouldn't have been the best call for the training session that I had planned. And again, I'm to hit heavyweight in competition, not just in training. However, how many times have I hit 160 like overall this year, right? And that's one thing I tried to remind myself of. Is like the more often I hit that, the less I think about that as like a big weight. And then when I go on to the kind of next weights or go up, I can maybe have a little bit more confidence, right? So if I take like 160 as like a second attempt, I could be a bit more kind of confident that I'm gonna smash that, and then go up to maybe 165. Now, hopefully one day I do get up to 170. It probably won't be this competition as much as I would love for it to be this competition. I do have to adjust my expectations, and that can be such a hard thing to do. It's just like having to accept that you probably won't hit a number that you really wanted to hit. But look, again, I'm going to continue to train. It's not going to give up. We're going to keep moving. Could come this competition, could come next competition, could come the competition after that. Whenever it happens. And I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep kind of refining what I need to do, reviewing how I can improve on that area, and kind of work alongside my coach to get there. All right, I am going out for dinner with the family, hence the shirt and jeans. I never wear shirt and jeans otherwise because I'm a t-shirt and shorts guy. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Catch you tomorrow. And yeah, have a good evening.